Good morning, everyone. Been in a rush today. The sun is basically risen at this point, and we're not out of the car yet, but it's fine. I didn't expect this to be a fantastic. It's a Monday. Usually Saturday is the day for the big camera and all the stuff, but we're out on a Monday because Saturday was snowing. Well, really Friday. We got our first snow of the season. The winter is definitely here, and the snow hit like Tuesday, I think, last week, and then off and on throughout the week. And then Friday, we got like a snowstorm that came through, and they were saying that the roads were not going to be great Saturday morning, even though it would stop snowing by then. But it was very cloudy. And anyway, did not go out on Saturday, decided that wasn't going to work. And so for the first time this season, we're now on a when we can make it out schedule for whenever the weather is going to be acceptable. But it's Monday, and usually I'd come out and do some still photos, and instead I brought a different camera to do video, and I just came to a place that I have no idea about. There's a large lake, so there are people who have seen birds here, obviously, but it also seems like it's going to be, it seems more human-oriented. There's a lot of things. We're sitting in front of the fitness court, which seems like a bunch of different things you can do exercises on, so that's interesting. I could zoom in. Anyway, the other thing, and I know this won't be a long trip because A, it's Monday and I don't go out for a super long time on Monday, and B, it's a holiday, and in years previous I've always avoided going out on holidays. Holidays, for whatever reason, is when everyone goes to the park because they got the day off. Although it's Veterans Day, so it is a holiday, but a lot of people have school. Most people seem to have school. There's a lot of school buses. So maybe it's not a full-on holiday. Maybe we'll be okay. But anyway, I don't plan on being here long. I don't plan on getting good audio because we're very close to a highway. I plan on going and just seeing what we can see. And testing out the new jacket, which is lined. They called it Sherpa lined. I don't know what material Sherpa is. I don't entirely know. But anyway, I got a heavier coat jacket. Thank you to the people of Patreon who paid for this because I needed something for the winter. I didn't have anything except for the really heavy stuff for when we're out in snow, and then it's all slick and it causes noise when you're walking, so it's not exactly ideal. Anyway, sun's coming in real bright right now. Let's go ahead and get going and just go look at the lake and see if we can find a spot to set up and watch some birds. The birds have moved on, and so too shall we. Okay, I think we found... No, I wasn't going to set up the whole camera here for just a quick little recap. There we go. If I block the sun with my arm like this, I'm just showing off the new jacket that I got. We talked about it before. It really did its job. I'm quite warm now that I'm in the sun mostly, and we've had the sun shining directly on us for quite some time. But it was a nice time out. It's just a big lake that's there, plenty of waterfowl on it, some dabbling ducks like the shoveler. We've seen that one. We've seen it before. We just haven't seen it recently. It's been a while. Also saw a diving duck that I couldn't identify. We've seen a couple before that dive, but that one in particular was dark, both the color of it and where it was kind of closer to me, so the sun hadn't come in and lit it up yet. So hopefully we'll be able to identify it in post-production. We'll see. The editor will let us know. This was a bit difficult to identify through my own fault. We were identifying off the clips of the duck diving repeatedly. We looked at those couple ones that would do the dive on the up close. That's the female. Female's a lot harder to identify. We were looking, trying to see, well, the bill shape is like this, and yes, it has this like black line, but it's mostly dark like we talked about, and kind of hard to identify. If we'd gone one clip further in the timeline, would have been much easier, because the male was the very next clip in there that I forgot about between beginning editing and then going into identification for birds. Anyway, the male's a lot easier to identify. A big white patch on its cheek, those tail feathers that the female has, and they're supposed to be pointed up, like the book said. They're usually pointed up. The male was pointed up. Anyway, ruddy duck. Never seen a ruddy duck before. We saw both the male and the female ruddy duck. Ruddy duck, ruddy duck, ruddy duck, ruddy duck, ruddy duck. Yeah, overall a great time out. This was a nice little, it's what I would call a local town park, because there's just like people everywhere. It wasn't super busy today, mostly people just out walking around the lake, but it was also pretty cold this morning. It's warmed up a bit now comparatively. It was like 29 when I came out, and now it's 45, so there's that. But yeah, it also very populated with, you look up above the lake on one side and there's just a shopping center there, so it's a bit directly in civilization. It's not quite as out in the wilderness as I typically would want to do, but very pretty. The mountains are now covered with snow, which was something that I was going, man, I thought they would be covered in snow now by October, last month. Nope, but that first week in November, snow came rolling through. So yeah, good time out. I'm glad I made it out. We got to see some stuff. Not as long as usual, but still a good time, and I enjoyed myself. So I think it's time to head home. We'll see you all next time, everybody. Bye.